I have been informed that my announcement has been deemed disrespectful.
Listen up, Dwayne, you bald fraud!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest of all time!
Seth Rollins, I'm coming for you, boy. I'm coming hard.
I am a visionary! I am a revolutionary!
The never seen 17!
Look at you now, boy! Ah. Look at you now! 4 letters, 1 word.
Last real champion, John Cena!
What is up? What is up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Rasslin. Ryan and Mike, a special one because we are doing this post Monday Night Raw that was live tonight from Chicago.
Loads to talk about. Tonight. Loads to talk about.
Lots to talk about in the wrestling world.
Yeah, absolutely, lots to talk about. We're just coming off a live we're doing a live reaction right now on TikTok, but we're just coming off a shocking WWE Championship win. Sami Zayn, poor Sami Zayn, had only held the title for 9 days, 10 days?
The 9 days. It's the shortest reign in 5 years.
For the WWE Championship.
Yes. Can you name me the one reign that was shorter than Sami's? I want to see if you know this.
For the WWE Championship?
Yes. I want to see if you know this.
Kane's 24-hour championship reign?
No, I'm talking about the last 5 years.
The last 5 years.
Because they said
okay.
the shortest one in the last 5 years.
Give me 1 second here. Let me think about this. I'm pretty sure. Was it Drew or no?
He's a 2-time Grand Slam champion.
2-time Grand Slam champion. It's not Bobby Lashley, is it?
The Miz.
The Miz. Oh.
He only held it for 8 days.
He only did hold it for 8 days. That's right. I completely see the Thunderdome era.
I don't blame you because that's when Otis won Money in the Bank, and then Miz won it from him in a match, and then he beat Drew, and then Bobby Lashley beat Miz. So
right,
I just wanted to test to see because they had mentioned it's the shortest WWE Championship reign in 5 years.
Right, the shortest title reign in 8 years. I do not remember that whatsoever.
Saying Kane's is not the shortest either.
Really?
The shortest WWE Championship reign is Andre the Giant.
Well, honestly, I don't even think that. Yeah, he won it, but I don't think he really held it because he relinquished it like pretty much right then and there.
Like,
when he actually called it
45 seconds later.
Right, when he called it the World Championship.
No, because I looked it up I was curious to see the shortest reigns, and that says that one technically. But technically, the shortest championship reign in history was the Big Show, who held the World Heavyweight Championship for all of 45 seconds.
Unbelievable to think about, though. Poor Sami Zayn, only 10 days as a WWE champion. And look, we have seen shorter reigns. We've seen Kane only hold it for less than 24 hours after he beat Steve Austin at the King of the Ring in '98.
And then Stone Cold won it back.
Stone Cold won it back the next day on Raw. I remember when Christian won the World Heavyweight Championship?
He had it for, I think, also 9 days.
That was actually by design because he actually entered into a feud with Randy Orton that was really, really good that summer.
Yeah, this is 2011. I remember that's when I remember that was like the go-to feud on SmackDown at the time.
Which was pretty much the last good feud for that original World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, because the original world title, it had a lot of great feuds, but in its last, before it was still its own championship, but before it's unified with the WWE title.
Yeah,
that was by far definitely the last great feud, especially because Randy Orton and Christian, they actually put on solid matches with each other. I felt like each match they had was better.
They had a good match at the Great American Bash, I think.
And then, it was
Capital
the SummerSlam match.
Yeah, Capital Punishment, I think. SummerSlam, Money in the Bank. So they had a pretty good feud going on for quite a few months.
Yeah, and it felt like each match they had was better than their previous one.
So before we go any further, TikTok. We are live on TikTok. TikTok, give us your reactions to CM Punk winning the WWE Championship live on Monday Night Raw in Chicago. For everyone else, if you're not on TikTok, all right, you can go live to our TikTok. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Lace 'em Up Sports.
Live
on TikTok.
We
You can
post
also
a
follow
lot.
us on our other social medias like Instagram, X, YouTube. When this podcast is going to be released, you can follow us on Spotify. You can follow us on Apple Podcasts, all of it. Any which way you want to follow us, we got you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But Raw was live from Chicago this evening. What did you think of Raw?
Oh, I thought Raw was good, and honestly, I feel like Chicago is one of the few cities where they actually step up and the shows actually end up being like really good. Because I remember how you and I have been saying like last year and like this year's SmackDown hasn't really had a lot of great episodes, but we both agreed
Right.
the episode in Chicago last year was one of the better ones because that's when
Right.
AJ Lee returned and then that
Yep.
was the Cena Sammy US
Yeah.
title match. So Chicago is one of the few cities where WWE like steps up.
Right. Yeah, that was a really
Especially
good
yeah,
episode of SmackDown last year.
yeah, especially because they all Chicago always has a great crowd. They're always loud. You know, they're into it. They're one of the few U.S. crowds that's like constantly engaging with the matches. They're very vocal and it's great. You know, especially because Chicago, they were I think they were if they weren't the first, they were one of the first crowds that kind of started the trend of like booing the good guys and cheering the bad guys.
Right. You know,
Yeah, I remember Chicago was like that city that they always did like the opposite of what usually happens.
I remember Chicago doing that for obviously we have the historic double turn in Chicago, WrestleMania 13, Stone Cold and Bret Hart inside the same arena. Also WrestleMania 22, I remember John Cena and Triple H. People were cheering Triple H and booing John Cena. Obviously we have the historic Money in the Bank 2011
And I
where
want to point out something interesting. I know we'll get into the main event a little bit later, but something interesting is the way Punk left tonight was how he left Money in the Bank
the
2011.
little
He gave
kiss.
the crowd a kiss goodbye. I feel
Right.
like it's kind of poetic because it's like now he's going to SmackDown. Maybe this is him kissing Raw goodbye
Right.
as he goes to SmackDown. So I was like, I like that little callback.
Right. Obviously they weren't going to mention Vince McMahon on television, but Michael Cole did mention the kiss, the little blow of the kiss
You
at
blow
Money in
him
the
the
Bank.
kiss goodbye. Yes.
Huh. Yeah, so a good Monday Night Raw. Give us a little bit of insight to what happened on Raw this evening. I didn't catch all of it. I just caught the tail end of the main event.
Yeah. So Seth, okay, well, Seth opened the show, but I think technically it was like Seth opened the show. He cut a promo, and of course Roman didn't show up to work as
Oh my
always.
gosh. Yeah,
But Seth cut a very heartfelt babyface promo. Um, and to me, it felt like he wasn't speaking as Seth Rollins. It felt like he was speaking as Kobe Lopez.
yeah,
Because he was saying like I was that kid in the crowd, like 5-year-old me, wanted to be like all I wanted to do was be in this ring with the microphone, you
right.
know, wrestling. So it felt that's why I said it's like it almost felt like he was talking like as Kobe Lopez as opposed to speaking as Seth Rollins. Uh,
Mm, very
so he
true.
got a good promo, and then of all people, LA Knight came out
Mm,
interrupted him and says all you and Roman do is talk about the same stuff every week. It's like, oh, you and I have history, family this, family that, blah blah blah. And, he's saying he's like, all you and Roman are make. He's like, you and Roman just make me want to vomit.
yeah. What's up
And
with LA Knight? Where do you think they're going to be going with this with him?
well, he's stuck in the bloodline vortex still because
That's
Jimmy Uso came and super kicked him after.
that's insane to think about.
There was another interaction. Jimmy was about to leave. He did an interview. Then LA Knight came, and then Jacob like hit LA against the wall.
Mm,
Um, and then Jimmy says he's going to SmackDown to get Solo. So it'll be interesting because it looks like even though Solo says he doesn't like LA, he's like, I don't like you, but we both have one thing in common. We want to end the bloodline. So
right.
it looks like they might be pushing for Solo and LA Knight teaming, which
Eh,
I don't like because I don't think it makes sense.
it
And if you
doesn't.
do it, it's inevitably going to lead to Solo rejoining the bloodline.
I mean, how many years has this been going on now with
And
LA
it's
Knight?
not going to end anytime soon because I don't know if you heard. Well, it's been going around, but it looks like it's going to now. It looks like it's closer than ever about Zilla for two signing
Yeah.
with WWE.
Guaranteed, Fatu is going to show up in a black hoodie. Guaranteed.
Question is when
They
is it
already,
going to be
they
at
already,
SummerSlam? It
yeah,
could be as soon as SummerSlam.
they already sized up his arm length. They already sized up, to zip it up his chest length. All right, the
He's
hoodie,
probably already gone to the performance center.
it's
They've like,
fitted.
here's the black hoodie.
Here's the black. It is all ready for Zilla Fatu.
It's been tailored just for you.
Yes,
Make
exactly.
sure when you come out, you keep your head down and you
Right.
zip it up so we can't tell it's you.
Have the camera linger for like 5 seconds with his head
And
down.
then finally, and then you'll slowly
Yeah.
zip it down and reveal your face.
And then Michael Cole being like, that's Zilla Fatu.
Just what he'll probably say something like, just when you thought the bloodline couldn't add any more members to the family, here comes Zilla Fatu.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I feel like we're all going to be in our 50s by the time LA Knight finishes with the bloodline.
LA Knight might be dead by that time.
We'll see.
Because
We'll see.
that man's 42 years old.
He will definitely be in his 50s by the time we are finished with the bloodline. Um,
But hey, people are saying if Sami Zayn won the WWE Championship, I'll be old in for 9 days. LA Knight fan says they're not losing hope. They said that gave them hope
nah.
that LA Knight
Wow.
will get a world title.
I can't see that happening with LA Knight. I think that ship has sailed with LA Knight. He is on the wrong side of 40. Triple H and WWE, they just don't see.
And what's funny is LA Knight actually mentioned the H thing.
Yeah.
He's like
Wow.
He's like, I'm on the wrong side of time.
Oh, wow.
Or he said like time is not on my side.
Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned that because LA Knight actually said that in his promo tonight. He's like, time is not on my side.
Wow. Well, look at that's everyone notices that. Everyone knows that. Everyone is in agreement that LA Knight, they just don't see him at a tippy top level in WWE. And for LA Knight fans, sorry, LA Knight girl, he is never going to be WWE champion. He is never going to be world champion.
It's sad to think his peak was when he beat Logan Paul for the US title. That was his peak.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's not going to get any.
I think his peak,
Yeah.
his true peak was when he tag teamed with John Cena.
Yeah, well, that's when it all started. That's when his push started because that's when he just recently became a babyface.
Right.
Because remember, he was literally a heel right before that match.
Right.
So
Well-
he just recently become a babyface. Even he said it. He's like, yeah, dude, I teamed up with John Cena. He's like, for me, that was huge. And even he thought, like, oh, this is the start of something. They're having me work with John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
When you work with John Cena, it's a big deal.
Right. Right. Look, well, speaking of other dead things, the Vision. Let's talk about the Vision. Because they maybe added a new member today, but I don't see it that way.
It's really confusing, especially the way Paul Heyman's been acting the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I told you I voiced my displeasure. It's like, why do you have the Street Profits win the titles just to drop it back to the Vision 2 weeks later when it's already been proven nobody cares about the Vision and that group is cursed.
Right. Right.
So why are they still feeding us the Vision? Like, what is the whole point of it? And the one thing I'm trying to say too is they see Braun Breaker as the future, right?
Right.
How the hell do you still have him stuck in this fact? You got to break him out.
They got to break him out. At this point,
I'm okay. I'm okay if they keep him with Paul Heyman. I'm fine with that. I think he's a great Paul Heyman guy.
yeah.
But
I think he has to be a monster babyface at this point.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I feel like inevitably a turn's going to happen.
Right.
And then
It has to.
factor in too, Bronson Reed is still going to return eventually.
When Bronson Reed returns, I could see that being a big time feud right there. Braun Breaker versus Bronson Reed. Those two bulls going at it.
With what, Braun Breaker being the babyface?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Him breaking out in that regard. But there was a new member added to the Vision kind of today. If you want to speak on that, one Maxine Dupree.
Which I don't necessarily hate it, but at the same time, it's like, why are they still giving Maxine like a push? Like they literally gave her the IC title and it failed miserably. Because
Right.
I think they wanted to give her a singles push.
Right.
It failed because she didn't step up. The crowd did not care.
Right.
And it's the same thing with the Vision. The crowd does not care about the Vision. And at this point, it looks like it's only benefiting. It's kind of only benefiting Maxine because it's actually giving her something to do on television.
It is, but with
And also,
Maxine
another
Dupree,
interesting thing is Maxine Dupree might just become the first ever Paul Heyman girl.
possibly,
Just think
possibly,
about it. We've never had a Paul Heyman girl before.
yeah. I think here's the deal right now. I think the division is slowly breaking apart. They need to keep Austin Theory relevant in some regard. Austin Theory is a great talent. He's just one of those guys that will, if you don't have things for him, he will flounder. And I think putting Maxine Dupree, because Maxine Dupree, she's kind of run her course with the what's it called? The
The Alpha
Alpha
Academy.
Academy. Yes. They've run its course. Right. I think Chad Gable is probably, he's already made amends with them. At some point I think he's probably going to line back with them in a loose kind of way.
It'll be a
Maxine,
loose alliance. It'll be like
yeah, a
if
little
they
loose
need
alliance.
help, he'll be there to help. If they
We
need his help, they'll
yeah.
be there to help.
We did see flashes of heel Maxine Dupree a couple weeks ago when Chad Gable apologized to the Alpha Academy, and
And
Maxine Dupree was like, nah.
nah.
Yeah, I'm not accepting. They may accept your apologies. I'm not accepting it for everything that you've done. And to be honest, she was right. Chad Gable did horrible things. I think he put her in an ankle lock at one point.
Even last week in her match with Raquel, she showed heel tendencies.
Yeah.
Because one thing I
So,
noticed in her entrance last week, because she usually high fives the fans. I think she high fived like one fan, but it was more like that aggressive like high five.
right. And so this is something new for Maxine Dupree to sink her teeth into. I think she's going to be more of a valet for Austin Theory. And it keeps Austin Theory, relevant with somebody with him. And I think Austin Theory does need somebody with him. And Maxine Dupree, it's something new for her to sink her teeth into. And let's see how this pairing goes.
I would say to turn Austin Theory babyface because he is a naturally likable guy, but I think at this point I don't even think that's going to keep him relevant
It just depends on the booking. Depends on the booking.
because it's very obvious Braun Breaker is the star in that group. It's very obvious.
But I think that's why, because they're going their separate ways.
And now Logan Paul is just there.
Well, Logan Paul, he doesn't need any of them. He's a more bona fide star. He's a
Well, I mean,
superstar,
plus he's injured right now too, so it's
but
like
he's
there's
injured.
not much he can do anyway.
But I'm glad you agree that Logan Paul is a superstar.
No, I didn't say that. I just said he's just there because he's injured, so there's nothing much for him to do.
I know. But, all right, so that happened on Raw. Anything other besides the main event happen of note?
Well, we saw Gunther take out Cody,
Hmm.
which was interesting because it's especially because everybody was thinking like, oh, Cody's winning back the title tonight. Like, come on, it's obvious.
Right.
And another interesting thing is Nick Aldis was on the show too. And
Right.
Nick
Yeah.
Aldis and Gunther went at it again. So that's the interesting thing is it looks like they're still building to Nick
Right.
Aldis and Gunther. But
Was
also,
Nick Aldis wearing a suit? Because I didn't catch it.
he was wearing a suit. Yes, he was wearing
Okay.
a suit.
So he's technically suspended in storyline.
Yes,
So technically, he's not the general manager of SmackDown right now.
at least yes. But it's funny because he's the one that made the call to CM Punk.
Right. Ah.
So in a way, does Nick Aldis know something we don't? Maybe Nick Aldis like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm not spending anymore. So what did I or who knows? Maybe it'll be revealed. What here? You need to prove yourself that you're worthy of being SmackDown GM. Dials up the phone. Hey Punk, I need you on SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which,
Either way,
which by the way, I think is much needed.
I think we are getting Nick Aldis in the ring at SummerSlam. I think he's finally going to make his WWE debut.
Yes, and especially because he hasn't officially retired, and he did say he's like, oh, I'm very much open to wrestling again, but he's also very content with his role, mainly
Right.
because he also says he wants to be able to spend time with his son.
Right.
And, him being the GM, it still allows him to do so.
Right. I want to let's see here. Everybody on TikTok, I want to give you a shout out. Joseph Torres, user 4479933 800. That girl Liv, Whoever's watching on TikTok right now, I want to give you guys a shout. What is your reactions to CM Punk winning the WWE Championship live in Chicago on Raw?
Yeah, no, it was big. I think it was pretty much expected, especially with the loud CM Punk chants. I think
Right,
it's one of those things. I don't think the fans would have been happy if it was somebody else
right.
other than
Yeah,
I.
yeah,
I even text you. I was like, I know it's not. I know it's gonna be Punk, but I was like, but if it wasn't Punk, it would have been really cool if it was KO. But I know he's still out on the shelf.
right, right. I was thinking this during the main event tonight. And not to get too far, but I was thinking, wouldn't it be something if, let's say, CM Punk had the win lined up, he GTS Sami Zayn in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, ref gets pulled out. It's Kevin Owens that pulls out the ref and helps Sami Zayn retain. I was literally thinking that in my head that we could see that tonight.
And it would have been interesting because it's Kevin showing like, oh no, you worked harder to get that championship. But then he'll be like, but if anybody's gonna take that title off of you, it's me.
Right. I
He'll
could
be
have
like,
definitely seen that if, let's say, Kevin Owens was clear to wrestle.
there's also a tailor-made story for if he does come back, and if this is a big if Sammy wins title, which I think he will.
Yeah.
I still think Sammy will get another title run.
It's gonna be hard. Okay, let's talk about that. Does Sami Zayn regain the WWE Championship at any time soon? And anytime soon,
The
the
only
answer for me,
realistic, the only realistic place I see it happening is WrestleMania in Saudi.
yeah,
And
but
I only say that because they said the original plan was for him to win it at WrestleMania in Saudi. So it's
right,
like maybe this was part of it is probably like, oh, here they wanted to do something shocking by having Sammy win, and at the same time, it's probably like, here, this for all your hard work, you know.
right. Look, it's hard for me to see them putting the title back on Sammy. I think it was a nice moment for them to do. I just think their storylines are going in different directions now. Obviously, Punk is the current WWE champion now. He's probably going to be facing Cody at SummerSlam. That's
Plus,
going to be
there's
a big match, a big night one or night two match
yeah, I
for
was
them to
gonna say
do.
there's no bigger story and bigger feud right now than Punk Cody.
All right.
That's been like ever since Punk's come back. That's the one feud people have been wanting to see him and Cody.
Yeah. Now look, now Punk is champion again. Do they does Cody regain the title at SummerSlam? Obviously, I don't want to go too far into this, but does Cody regain the title at some point now? Between now and SummerSlam or at SummerSlam?
I have a bold prediction
What's up?
that regards their SummerSlam match.
All right, what's up?
Punk and Cody have their match. Punk retains, and Cody snaps and loses it and goes heel. Because if Cody's going to turn heel against anybody, it's Punk.
Yeah, I can
Because
see that.
realistically, since he's been back, there's been only two feuds where I saw him being the heel. One was the Cena feud, even though Cena was the one that turned heel, but you could tell Cody was still playing the heel because the fans wanted Cena. They were cheering Cena.
Right,
And we already know they're not going to boo Punk. They're not.
right. Yeah. Now look,
So
I could definitely see that
I'm not
because
saying it's going to happen, but I think now might be the time to pull the trigger.
and people have complained that Cody's character is stale. Now could be the time where they pull the trigger on a Cody heel turn.
Even Cody himself has said he's like, yeah, I think my face run is running its course. He has
Right,
said it himself.
right.
So
So,
it would be
yeah.
interesting to see, especially with it being such a fan favorite in CM Punk. You could have Cody turn.
Then also too, look, but regardless if they do Cody and Punk at SummerSlam, whether Cody's a heel, Cody's a face, at some point we're gonna have to get Obafemi in the mix for the world title. Do they now it brings up? Do they have him go after Roman Reigns or do they have him go after CM Punk?
And that's what's interesting because before it was like, oh, he's definitely going after Roman. Even if Cody got the title back, everyone was like, nah, he's
Yeah,
going after Roman. But
yeah,
now it's interesting because he'll be like, well, Roman Reigns called himself the OTC, but you're the best in the world.
mm-hmm.
So I feel like it makes it tougher for him because
Right.
if I want to prove myself and make a name for myself,
Right.
now I have two very, very hard choices to make
Now
because I have
let's
two of the best in the business.
look at let's face it this way. Even though Obafemi decided not to go after the world championship at SummerSlam, he's still going to get a world championship match sometime
Yes,
soon
because he even
after.
said himself, the title shot is still there. The title is there whenever I decide to get it.
Now look at does it kind of devalue King of the Ring a little bit? Yeah, because King of the Ring is supposed to set up for SummerSlam. It's not Money in the Bank where you can just decide to cash in whenever you want. It's supposed to
But
be for the next pay-per-view. But, WWE breaks and bends its own
yeah,
rules and they can do whatever they want.
yeah. And at the very least, he's still getting a title
Yeah,
opportunity, just not at SummerSlam. So at the same time, it's like King of the Ring is still doing what's supposed to. You get a title shot. It just he's not getting it at SummerSlam. He's gonna get it later.
right. And so Obafemi, does he go after Roman Reigns? Does he have if it's what you drew up here, does he go after heel Cody Rhodes? Does he go after CM Punk? Who knows? Who knows at that point? And so it'll be really, really interesting to see. Um, the reason why Obafemi is not getting his title match, um, so we're gonna pause this real quick. There we go. The reason why Obafemi is not getting his title match at SummerSlam is because he's gonna be inside Hell in the Cell versus Brock Lesnar.
And they want to end that feud.
Right.
And you know what they always say about the Hell in a Cell? That's supposed to be a match to end a feud.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's supposed to be Hell in a Cell is let's break this down a little bit now. Hell in a Cell, it is designed to be the end of a blood feud. Hell in a Cell is supposed to be what we're seeing here. It's supposed to be it is designed for a match like Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, right? The end of a blood feud here, the
Two,
end of a
two
big story, the
meaty,
climax here.
two big
The la-
meaty men
Two
slapping,
big
as
slapping
he
me,
said.
just yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so,
But I think this has potential to be a great Hell in a Cell. And, I know we've been criticizing Brock how pretty much the last few years it's just been suplex, suplex, F5, F5, F5. But I feel like if we do get one more classic Brock Lesnar match, it's going to be this match at SummerSlam,
yeah,
especially
absolutely.
because it's in his hometown in Hell in a Cell, and because it could possibly be his last. And
Right.
Brock is going to want to go out,
Right.
putting on one of the best performances of his career.
Now originally we saw Obafemi defeat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar pulled the rug from everyone and
Retired.
retired, quote unquote. Even they acknowledged it the next day on Raw that he was retiring. And then he came back a month later. So you can never believe retirements, but I truly do believe that SummerSlam will be the retirement match for Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell versus Obafemi because you can't go out any better than that. There is nothing left for Brock Lesnar to do at this point in juncture.
You're playing for Erling
And
Haaland.
so, yeah. What was
Yeah.
that?
No, I opened TikTok and it like it immediately goes to it plays audio like right away.
Yeah.
Um, but no, it's one of those things we mentioned it before. How do you build a star? You do it like you are with Obafemi. You have him beat
Right.
Brock Lesnar, one of the biggest legends in the history of the company.
Right.
And
Right.
and if he is the one to retire Brock, boom, you just built your next big star for the next 10 years plus.
Exactly.
It took one feud to build your next
And I
star.
think they already have
How
done
it
that.
should be.
Look, we didn't need this Hell in a Cell match between Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. We didn't need the second match because I think they could have easily just left well enough alone at WrestleMania between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. But now here we are. This is the rubber match. Lesnar has one. Oba has one. And so we're getting the Hell in a Cell. I presume probably night one or night two. I mean, sorry, night one. Obviously, it's going to be either one of those nights, obviously. But I
Yeah.
think presume night one, I want to say.
I would say night one because I think it's clear that night two is going to be the World Heavyweight Championship match because I don't think they want it where Roman isn't like the absolute last match.
Yeah.
And I could see the WWE Championship being the main event in night one.
I could also see the Hell in a Cell match opening one of the shows.
That's what I think. I think it would be great if it opened.
Yeah. And then Oba wins. And I think at the end of either title match, Oba comes out,
And he makes his
faces,
choice. He'll make
yeah,
his choice.
yeah, coming after you the next pay-per-view. And so
It'll be his stare down.
coming after Roman, coming after whoever is world champion or WWE champion.
And he probably won't even say a word. It'll probably just be a stare down and it'll be implied, boom, Obafemi just made his decision.
Exactly. Again, guys, we are live on TikTok. I want to thank everyone here that's on TikTok. Bada, let's see here. Frank Zaruko, KA60, Razmeek. I don't even know how to say your last name, Razmeek. George Talon. Thank you guys for being here on TikTok. What is your reaction to CM Punk winning the WWE title on Raw? But anyways.
So yeah, what else? Oh, and we saw Sol Ruca defend her women's IC title against Raquel Rodriguez. Sol Ruca retained. Judgment Day came out doing the same old Judgment Day shenanigans we're used to
Yeah.
seeing. Io Sky came out, Sol Ruca retained, which I think now it's gonna paint an interesting picture at SummerSlam because I do see Io winning, but SummerSlam is where I inevitably think the Judgment Day finally breaks up.
Who
Or at, or
knows?
at, or at least this current version of it does.
Who knows? I think it's already well past its expiration date for the Judgment Day. They need to go about their separate ways. Obviously, Liv has done her thing. Dom is going to continue to do his thing. I mean, with Raquel and JD
Roxanne.
McDonough. I mean,
Yeah.
I they might really just not. They might fall in the cracks because I can't see them focusing on those two specifically alone. Roxanne's gonna have a great career, I think,
Oh,
no doubt about
she is. She's by
it.
far the future of the
Yeah,
women's division. She's got a bright future. I've been saying for a while that she needs to break off from the Judgment Day, turn babyface again. She does her best work. She's been doing some of her best work as a bit like literally in NXT. That's how she broke out. She broke out being a babyface,
right,
and she got over with the crowd naturally too. It
right,
wasn't like the WWE just kept shoving her down, so it forced her to get over. No, she naturally got over
right.
organically, and like I said, she did some of her best work as a babyface. I think Roxanne is outside of Dom and Liv. Roxanne is probably the one who can do without the Judgment Day and will actually probably
Right.
benefit from breaking up from
Yeah,
the group.
absolutely, absolutely. Judgment Day needs to be no more. A future RIP to the Judgment Day because it has run its course for sure. Um,
I've been seeing some of the old memes come back of like, oh, you're a babyface cutting a promo, and then the Judgment Day music hits.
yeah, and look, they basically have the OG Judgment Day except for Edge, Adam Copeland. They basically have the OG Judgment Day on SmackDown.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see, the old Judgment Day versus the new Judgment Day. Like I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if we see Finn, Damien, and Rhea versus Dom, JD, and Liv.
Right?
Do
Yeah,
I want it to happen?
possibly,
No, I don't think it's necessary. But at the
possibly.
same time, I don't think they can resist.
Now, one guy switching subjects here. One guy we're not going to see in WWE going forward is the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. It's
Yeah. And that news hit me. I got it yesterday. I didn't believe it at first, because it came from the dirt, and I'm like, I'm not gonna believe it.
right.
At the time, WWE hadn't said anything, and Sheamus hadn't said anything, and then I believed it when Sheamus changed uh, I think his Twitter and Instagram handles, and
Mm.
it says his actual name, Stephen Farrelly, and
Yeah,
it says professional wrestler. It doesn't say WWE anymore.
yeah,
That's when I believed it when he himself pretty much made that change.
yeah,
It's crazy to think after almost a 20-year career, he signed with the company in 2007. Didn't
yeah.
have his first match till 2009,
Right.
but he's a great performer, underrated performer, an all-time great, for sure, a future Hall of Famer. It's a shame though that he's it's a shame that he's not going to go down as a Grand Slam champion, especially because they were always saying, "What's the one championship Sheamus hasn't won in his career? The
Hmm.
Intercontinental Championship."
Now,
So
look,
it's a shame he's not going to get to win it.
now Sheamus, a Hall of Fame career in itself, with two-time WWE champion, probably two-time World Heavyweight
I think he's a
champion.
four-time world champion.
Yeah, four-time world
WWE
champion,
two-time
Royal
yeah,
Rumble winner, King of
Money
the
in the Bank
Ring,
winner,
Money in the Bank. There's nothing except winning
multi-time tag team
tag team
champion.
champion. The only thing he had not done in his illustrious Hall of Fame career was win the Intercontinental Championship, and that was pretty much like a storyline for his last couple of years in the WWE.
Especially
It's
this
unfortunate he
year.
never got it.
Yeah. And it's a shame. It's crazy to think Sheamus's last WWE match,
Oh yeah,
also John Cena's last match on
right. So
the six
yeah,
man tag match. It's crazy to think. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is John Cena's last match on Raw. We'll see Sheamus again." Now it's
yeah.
crazy looking back. Rey Mysterio is the only one out of the three still going.
So Sheamus had been out with a shoulder injury. He had, I mean, last several years, Sheamus
The
had
last
barely
few
been
years he's
plagued
been
with
played
injuries.
because he's missed the last three WrestleManias.
I think he's
41,
had 2
42.
shoulders injuries. He's had spinal stenosis, which, it doesn't get any better. It only gets worse as you continue to wrestle, and you're pretty much on a limited time clock, when you have spinal stenosis like that.
And he's ages behind him because he's in his late 40s.
48 now. And
Yeah, he
so with
same age as
CM
John Cena,
Punk,
and it's yeah. So it's crazy. It's like, but I mean, obviously he hasn't retired. The question is, where does he go from here? And the thing
well,
is, with
look,
this, he wasn't released, so he doesn't have that 90-day non-compete clause.
so Sheamus was just like the New Day, was approached by WWE asked to take a pay cut. He had just signed a 5-year deal a couple years ago, probably in year 2 or 3 of that. And so he still had some time to go. But just like the New Day, they had approached him. He was probably making close to $1 million, or even a little bit more than $1 million a year. And so with that type of money that he was making, WWE, they asked him to take a pay cut, and rightfully so. Sheamus said, nah, we're not going to do that. I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people give TKO slack, or they knock him for that, and I have too. We both have, but in this case, I understand why they would ask him, especially because he's been plagued by injuries and
Yeah.
he's up there in age,
Yeah.
and
He's not a younger talent.
it's very obvious they are trying to build the younger talent,
Right.
which is totally fine. You only see very few of the older guys like Punk and Roman and Seth and Cody, all in their
Right.
all 40 plus. Those
Right.
are probably the few guys that's like they're willing to pay them big money because
Right.
they're big names, they're big stars.
Right. Exactly. So it's unfortunate. Now, look, if Sheamus goes on the independents, he'll do good. He'll probably make a killing there. If he goes to AEW, which is obviously people are going to talk about, I could see him. I could see Tony Khan, welcoming Sheamus in. Sheamus still has some to contribute to wrestling, and so he's not completely washed.
Yeah, I don't think he's a main event talent anymore. I don't think he's a world champion talent anymore, but he can still go. Um, if he does go to AEW, I wouldn't be surprised if they reunite him with Cesaro.
We don't set the bar. We are the bar.
Or,
My gosh.
I feel like that's inevitable to happen, which is fine, but also it's just like, ugh, is this all? Did Tony Khan just sign him simply just to do one last nostalgia tag run with Cesaro?
Maybe. But then again, it would probably be, the quote unquote ex WWE guy from going into AEW. And, yeah, he would get a pop, but I think it would just kind of feel like, you know, kind of run of the mill because we've seen a lot of ex WWE guys go to AEW. So,
And he'd be hot for like a month, and then we would
right.
probably rarely see him on TV.
Probably.
It's the same
Probably.
shit we've seen. Not
Because
not with
AEW,
everybody. Some of them do get the push and get over, but
but
we've seen as
AEW
of late they
has
haven't.
a lot of guys that need to focus on, and just Sheamus going to AEW, it really doesn't move the needle. Now New Day, New Day going to AEW would really help the tag team division.
because the tag division is one of the weaker points in AEW, along with
Right.
the
It's
women.
not is clearly not as bad as WWE's tag team division.
Yeah,
WWE's tag team division
but it
is
is yeah,
in the graveyard.
but it is one of the weaker points.
Yeah, but I mean, my God, nothing is worse than WWE's. WWE has no tag team division. I'll just say that.
Well, soon, I don't know when, but soon
Uh,
we will see Big Cat. And I know I'm not really a fan of it either,
yeah, doesn't
but
push the needle for
especially
me.
because I feel like they had their time, and I feel like they're not going to be as over as they once were.
Right.
Especially now that we know Enzo and Cass are not nice people,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
think might kind of affect their crowd
I
reaction.
think they've Enzo and Cass individually as performers have gotten more professional as the years come by. You know, Enzo has done the independents. Obviously, Big Cass, he was Big Bill in AEW, and he's gotten a lot more professional in that regard. You know, he's kind of changed the way he looked too. He's a lot more bigger now, so he is Big Cass for sure. But
Yes.
big ass. Yeah, I love that sign. Yeah.
I know
But
you
it just doesn't
said
do
that to
anything for
me a
me with
couple
those two
times.
coming back. Now is Enzo Amore, could he be a good manager? He has a good mouth on him.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, and it's going to be one of those things. If they do bring them back, are they going to put them on NXT, or are they just going to put them right back on the main roster?
Yeah. Who knows? NXT, I could see that, but they desperately need something in the tag team division on the main
If
roster as
and
well.
if they do, one thing, if they do bring them back, I want them to go to SmackDown. I think SmackDown needs them more than Raw does.
Perhaps, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just the tag team in general, though, is dead. I'm going to end the TikTok live. I want to thank everyone that's on TikTok. Thank you guys who are joining in. We're going to continue the podcast. So if you want to catch the rest of this podcast, make sure you listen
Tune
to
in to Spotify, Apple
Spotify.
Podcasts,
Exactly.
wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Wherever you listen. Exactly. All right, TikTok. Have a good one. All right. All right. So we're back here on the podcast here. All right. Yeah, Sheamus is no longer in WWE. Hope he can find something good for him to, to sink his teeth into wherever he goes.
And hopefully he can stay healthy too. That's another thing too.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah. But going back into Monday Night Raw, what did you think of the main event tonight?
Oh, I thought the main event was solid. You know, old man Punk can still go, and I'm not gonna lie. I think old man Punk might be a better in-ring performer than a young CM Punk.
That I think CM Punk, I think it's just different now. Young CM Punk really had to fight against the Office, Vince McMahon, Triple H, guys that really just did not see anything for CM Punk. He was always talented. They just people didn't get the character. People didn't get him, and he always had to fight against that. Now
And,
CM Punk, he's a machine of TKO. He's a proven guy. He doesn't have to fight against anything. All he really has to fight against is just keeping healthy and
yeah,
injury
and
free.
he's matured a lot. Even he has said it too. He's like, "Yes, I'm a changed man now."
Right, right,
Because
absolutely.
even before you and I, we mentioned it before. If this was the CM Punk of old, he probably would have lost his mind over losing to Roman.
Right.
He probably
Yeah.
would have been like, "Hell no, I'm not losing to Roman."
Yeah. Now, the one thing I had mentioned to you before we started podcasting is I wanted to kind of compare the the AEW
World,
world title scene
world
versus the WWE world title scene. Right now in AEW, you have MJF
and
possibly taking on,
Briscoe, right?
yeah, no, Kenny Omega.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I saw that. And then what is
Mhm.
it? If Kenny Omega loses, he can't challenge for the AEW championship. Is it ever again, or just while MJF is champ?
Well, we don't know that yet. They're kind of going back and forth on what that stipulation is going to be right now. But Kenny Omega will be, I believe, will be challenging MJF at the next pay per view, and that's not going to be what's that pay per view? The big one they have in the
All
summer.
in.
All in, yes, yeah. So the next one, I believe. Oh, when is the next pay per view for AEW?
But what's funny? Speaking of AEW pay-per-views, they just announced yesterday AEW All Out will be in Chicago in September, and they very ironically used the CM Punk star, and everyone's like, "Oh, Punk's coming back."
Right.
All those people that were saying that, I hope you watch Raw tonight, and I hope you shut your mouth now.
So the next AEW pay-per-view will be AEW Redemption. That's going to be Sunday, July 26th, and then All Out will be in September. And so that's
And
coming
then
up for AEW. And I think,
is all in between those two,
yeah,
or is it
no,
after
All In is going to be
All Out? It'll
after
be
Redemption.
All Out. Oh, so okay, so it's in between those two.
Yeah, and then All Out will be after All In. Um, with AEW's title scene, obviously MJF, he is carrying, he is the quarterback, he is the star superstar in AEW, and there's nobody. Basically, there's nobody that can really touch him in AEW right now. He is the man, the certified man, and he is their biggest star, their biggest draw. In WWE, they have many stars, I think. You
But
can go
it's
to a Roman,
revolving, but it revolves around the same like four or five guys:
right? Yeah.
Punk, Roman, Cody, Drew, Seth.
Yeah. And then they're gonna sprinkle in somebody new like a Sammy, or they're gonna sprinkle in somebody in between. But yeah, it's really the same guys.
They're trying to squeeze Gunther in there.
They were trying to squeeze Braun Breaker at the beginning of this year, but really does come down to the same guys as opposed to AEW. They're trying to mix in guys that can compete with MJF.
Like for example, look at like when Darby Allin won it. That was completely unexpected.
Right. Right.
Nobody thought Darby Allin would ever be a world champion. Much
Exactly.
similar to Sammy. Very much how Darby Allin winning was a shock is very similar to how Sammy winning the WWE
Yeah.
title was a shock.
And then they're mixing in Mark Briscoe. They're mixing in Kenny Omega, and then I
Tommaso
think
Ciampa was in there.
yeah. hmm Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if Kenny Omega could be MJF for the world title at Redemption, because I think they've always wanted to do the match between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. And so would that be a world title match at All In? We'll see.
I just don't see him taking the title off of MJF.
Yeah. There could be a
But
triple threat too.
if somebody were to take it off of him, I think Kenny Omega would be the smart choice.
And I think a triple threat match or a multi-man match would be pretty great too.
Yeah. It's good to see John Moxley like out of the world title picture because I felt like he was like the Roman and Cody for a while. He was always in the title picture. He would
Well,
lose
when John
the
Moxley
title
was
and
world
then get a
champion,
match and then well, yeah.
when John Moxley was world champion, the AEW product was so stale, and nobody was really. It didn't have any buzz with it. Now that MJF is champion, he's the guy carrying the company, and I think that there's just so much more buzz around AEW when you can have the world title on a guy like MJF.
Yeah, and especially with MJF who's very talented and he also steps up in the big matches.
hmm
Um, he's clearly the guy in AEW right now. He's the face of the company. He's the guy they want to build around. Um, who knows how much longer he'll be in AEW because we've both said it before. I think
Yeah,
we all know eventually he will be in
he'll go
WWE.
to WWE
But
at least.
right now he is the guy in AEW, and
Yeah,
I'm sure he loves that and he's happy and content with it.
right. Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, no, absolutely. Anything else you want to talk about in terms of pro wrestling, Ryan, before we end today's podcast?
Well, we have a big. They announced that we're gonna have a Intercontinental Championship Gauntlet number one contenders match on
Okay.
Raw next
Yeah.
week.
Oh wow.
Going to feature Dragon Lee, Chad Gable, Joe Hendry, Ethan Page, and Rusev. And
Interesting names you got there.
and I think Chad Gable is coming out of this.
Either it's Chad Gable or Joe Hendry, but you got to give it to Chad Gable right now.
Especially because he is from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah, he has
We
to.
know Brock is too, but this is also very much a homecoming for Chad Gable as much as it is for Brock Lesnar.
Chad
And
Gable has to have a big match at SummerSlam coming up.
especially after he got himself over as El Grande Americano, came
hmm
off the greatest match of his career
Yep.
arguably the greatest match in the history of WWE, and
One of. Yeah.
he's definitely over with the crowd. And if there was ever a better time to push Chad Gable, it's now. And I think he walks out of SummerSlam as the Intercontinental Champion.
Well, it's definitely possible with Chad Gable in that regard. Definitely possible.
And I definitely think that match next week is going to be a banger because those are five very good
Yeah.
games. Is it
If
five
it's
man?
not Chad Gable, I can see it being Joe Hendry.
Yeah. Is it a 5 man or a 6 man? It's one of those. If it's a 6 man, I think Javon Evans is in it too.
I could see Javon Evans, but then they have so much time with Javon Evans. The one thing with Javon Evans, you don't want to put him too much on the back burner.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's a 6 man.
yeah, okay.
Yes. Oh wait, no, it's 7 man.
Seven
Totally
man.
7 man. I totally forgot that Javon Evans and Dominic Mysterio
Of
are.
course. How could they forget Dom?
Yeah. So my bad. I thought it was a 5 man,
All
but
good.
it is a 7 man. So it's Dragon Lee, Chad Gable, Joe Hendry, Javon Evans, Dominic Mysterio, Ethan Page, and Rusev.
And Ryan Hernandez.
And it's like you said, that's a solid list of names, all very talented. I think this match is going to be great. And I think if Chad Gable comes out on top, my dark horse pick is Joe Hendry, and somebody you can't rule out as much as I don't like the guy, you can't rule out Dirty Dom.
Yeah, you can't, obviously, I think either way they go would be good. Um, my pick would be Chad Gable. Dark Horse would be Joe Hendry, but you can't rule out Dom. You can't rule out Javon Evans as well. So obviously they're not going to give anything to Rusev or who else is in it?
Ethan
Ethan
Page
Page.
and
Oh, Ethan
Dragon Lee.
Page. Yes, but I don't think it's time yet.
Not yet. I think eventually, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the year he's a
Right.
Intercontinental Champion.
That would be a super dark horse pick though.
Yeah, and then Dragon Lee. With no disrespect, Dragon Lee's great. He's a
He's not.
great wrestler, but
Yeah,
he's not. I don't think he's singles champion material.
right. Exactly.
At least not at the moment. That, of course, that could always change. But he's a phenomenal talent, great in the ring. I can't deny that.
Down the line, I would love for somebody we haven't talked about is Ray Phoenix to be in
Yes,
that singles.
especially because right, and I like that he's actually getting featured on SmackDown right now because he's the AAA Cruiserweight Champion and he's
Yeah.
been putting in great matches. But eventually, it'd be great to put him back in like serious singles action.
Hmm.
And I don't be surprised if at WrestleMania next year we see the Lucha Brothers winning tag team gold.
That or they have a match together.
Oh, and especially because somebody asked Penta, "What's your dream match?" And what he did say he wants to fight his brother.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I think they've wrestled against each other before, right?
In AEW, maybe. I can't really recall.
Yeah, but I honestly I think that would be a great match. And if Ray Phoenix wasn't on SmackDown, I could totally see Penta and Ray Phoenix battling for the IC title.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or maybe Penta gets moved to SmackDown later.
Yeah, possibly.
Especially because like right now, like how you just said, the tag team division is in shambles.
Right.
SmackDown doesn't really have any legitimate tag teams. Get the
Right.
Lucha Brothers in there. I
Right.
think would thrive on SmackDown. Give them the tag titles. I think they could be great tag team champions. I think they could really
Yeah,
help amplify the tag team division as a whole. Give,
exactly.
give me the Penta Bros versus the Usos.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Would be great if you still had the New Day, because I would have been like, give me Lucha Bros and New Day. But
But yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, WWE still has a lot of work to do going into, or we're not going to. We are midsummer now, but WWE has a lot of work to do in terms of getting their storylines right. They're doing a better job. It's just that right now it still feels like a slog to watch.
yeah, they have been getting better. I think it helped because they've been doing some things unpredictable, like Sammy winning
Yeah.
and even taking Cody out tonight. I wasn't expecting that.
Not me
Like I
neither.
said, I totally thought like, oh, okay, Cody's winning tonight. It's obvious. It sucks.
Yeah.
And they took him out, and it was Punk,
Yeah. Exactly.
and we loved it.
All right. Anything else, Ryan?
I mean, well, also we do have Saturday night's main event coming up
That's
July
right.
18th at Madison Square
Danhausen is
Garden.
going. Yeah, Dan. Is it reported Danhausen versus JD McDonough?
Yeah, JD McFunko Pop.
McFunko Pop. That's gonna. I don't know if that's the main event of that Saturday night's main event.
Not main, probably definitely not the main event,
Yeah,
but it's been made official for Saturday night's main event and MSG, which I think this has potential to be a great one because it's at Madison Square Garden.
obviously the Knicks are coming off their NBA championship,
Yes,
and the star
and
player for the Knicks is Danhausen.
yeah, and Jalen Brunson, we know
Yeah,
he's a big WWE guy, so
yeah,
don't be surprised if he gets involved. And also, Fanatics Fest is that same weekend. So who knows? We might get some surprise appearances on Saturday Night's main event.
maybe
I'm not saying it's gonna happen, as although I would love it because I know he'll be there participating in Fanatics games. Is my goat
that bald fraud.
up? Well,
That bald fraud.
he's bald right now.
He's a bald fraud.
You mean the final boss?
No, the
That's your
final
bald
boss would
fraud.
be awesome.
No, the
I'd
final boss is the real
wet
bald.
my pants if the final boss came out.
I think the final boss is the only thing that can save the bloodline right now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, we did talk about that on an earlier podcast,
But
but
but he doesn't care about WWE anymore.
all he cares about is making Moana 2 and 3
Well,
and 4.
well, no, now Moana 3 had a live action Moana, which looks like
Nah, it looks all right.
hot garbage
It looks all right. Hey, watch your mouth. That's the final boss we're talking about here.
with that terrible ass wig he has on his
Oh
head.
my gosh. All right. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for tuning into today's podcast. Everyone that was on TikTok, live streaming with us, and always from the bottom of my heart. Always from the bottom of Ryan's heart too. Want to thank you guys for tuning in for today's podcast. As always, Ryan is looking sexy. If you write him a question at laceemuptakes@gmail.com, he will answer your questions live on the podcast.
Same with Mike. And again, like we said, we did not plan us wearing the same shirt. We did
We did
not.
not.
This was totally unintentional.
Exactly.
I literally threw this on when Punk's music hit.
I just came from the gym. I had to go shower. I just found this real quick and I threw it on. And I thought it'd be fitting since Punk won the title
In
tonight.
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah. But we're twins tonight. Although
Yeah.
Ryan has more luscious hair than I do.
Damn right. I look more like CM Punk with my hair.
Exactly. I'm more of a
He's
bald
got the
fraud.
long luscious hair. Otherwise,
Anyways,
anyway,
hey,
the real bald fraud is you.
yeah, I know.
You're balding.
I'm just gonna put some of this beard hair on top. We'll be all right.
Balding. It's inevitable. But no, seriously, thank you guys for tuning in. Couldn't do this without you. We got some stuff in the works.
So,
So
yep. All right. Until next time. Can't see us.